What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. Today we are going to discuss the jellyfish UAP. What is the jellyfish UAP, you might ask? Well, let's get into it, but hang on. First, let's introduce our cast of characters tonight. We've got the Crazy Birdman, inspired by a cardinal in my backyard, painting right here. We've got Dennis Rodman back here, and we've got good old Frankenstein. Now, Frankenstein is actually pretty decent. I actually like this a lot. It's a combination of Frankenstein and Justin Bieber. He's got his face tats and everything else. So if you want to see it and you can't see it, go on to Spotify. They have video podcasts where I put up the videos that I'm doing from this podcast on there. So go check it out. Got Dennis Rodman on here. Pretty sweet. I liked it. It's not finished yet, but we're getting there. So anywho, a lot of people don't know Dennis Rodman might actually be an undercover CIA agent that they sent over to go talk to Kim Jong-un since he's his best friend. So anyway, getting back to the jellyfish UAP from newsnation.com, we have an article where UFO journalist Jeremy Corbell released this footage from Iraq in 2018, where they had a forward operating base, and they took a video at night. So this jellyfish UFO was flying at night, and they took it from an aerostat. Okay, an aerostat is kind of like a blimp, a dirigible, that hovers over the bases and gives video of any incoming enemy flight operations, any threat at all. It's a lighter than air aircraft that gains its lift through buoyant gas. So it's basically like a dirigible. It's pretty cool looking. Actually, if you want to check it out, here's a little photo over here. Check it out. See right there. That's what it looks like. Kind of like a blimp-like object, but a little bit different. And it has a bunch of video cameras on it, ranging from infrared, thermal, and whatever other kind of secret government cameras that they have. Pretty cool stuff. So anyway, they used this aerostat, which is from ancient Greek, meaning stratos, standing, and air, A-I-R, air. So it's basically saying it's standing air. So this jellyfish object, what the hell are we talking about? This thing literally looked like a jellyfish. Okay, it really had a bizarre look to it. It also changed colors multiple times. It changed shades multiple times. It came out of the water, and it hovered quickly through the base, which is why the aerostat was interested in it, because why the hell is this thing hovering over the base? And then flew for, it's a 17-minute video. So check this out. So let's take a look. Okay, the article states, and this was just released a couple days ago, UFO journalist Jeremy Corbell has released footage of what he calls a jellyfish UAP that was spotted in Iraq in 2018. The people who were on the ground, and I'll talk about a Marine in a second, people who were there, the Marines and other military, called this thing the spaghetti monster. So it's giving you a little bit better, clearer vision of what this thing really looks like. I'm going to try to use it for the icon in this, or the thumbnail in this episode, but I'll also show it to you in this episode. The video was apparently taken at U.S. Joint Operations Base in Iraq, according to Corbell. The object was officially designated as a UAP, an unknown aerial phenomenon, by the Pentagon. The footage was taken with thermographic forward-looking infrared radar, which is really interesting. So there's been some reports that this thing wasn't able to be seen by soldiers on the ground, that they didn't, scramble troops out there to get it. And then there's other reports stating that people were scrambled out to try to take this thing down, and they couldn't. So let's keep going with this particular article. The object, which does resemble a jellyfish, moved through sensitive military installations before moving over water, where it began what Corbell describes as a controlled descent before submerging. What does this sound like? This sounds like those Chinese balloons, quote-unquote weather balloons, or data-gathering balloons that hovered over us just a year ago, and we shot them down, right? really interesting stuff. They were supposed to be from China, but this happened in Baghdad back in 2018. So, you know, a lot more years ago than just 2023. So, you know, what's interesting about Iraq? We don't really hear about it anymore, do we? But stuff's still going on over there. So that's really interesting. How does Corbell get this footage? Corbell seems to get all this crazy footage from all these people, and, you know, doesn't release until he knows that he's going to be safe. And that's kind of what we've been talking about with the skiff that happened yesterday, the sensitive compartmentalized information meeting that happened yesterday. And Representative Anna Paulina Luna, came out and stated that people are being threatened who have this information. Yet, Corbell is showing up right behind Grush when he gave his congressional testimony. So we have some people who are being threatened, some people that maybe not, some people that maybe, you know, not as worried about threats, and some people who are. And even Tim Burchett stated he wasn't going to give out his witness list this time because the witness list was released before the last congressional hearing, and like 40 people were basically threatened and didn't show up. So getting back to this jellyfish thing, according to those familiar with the full footage who witnessed the event, the UAP was not observable with night vision. Okay, night vision is different than thermal vision, right? Thermal, and a lot of people, you know, don't have that information either because we're not in the military, right? But it is true. It is different than what we have in infrared. So you've got infrared, you've got thermal, and then you have this. It's not observable. Was not observable with night vision. Appeared to jam the targeting capability of the optical platform and displayed positive lift without the usual means of lift and thrust. This thing looked like it had dangling feet, just dangling off of this thing. I mean, that's what it really looked like. It was really, really freaking bizarre. And, you know, it was moving at a pretty damn good clip. It kind of resembles, you know, in some instances, what looks like the AT-AT, the AT-AT in Star Wars, the big white monster looking thing that's all slow and, you know, is always in those battles. I think it's used by the Empire. So yeah, so here's one photo. Okay, I'm going to give you a lot, but I'm going to show you one. Okay, so here's what this thing looks like. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay, so here's what this thing kind of looks like. I'll zoom in a little bit. It starts here. It's got like this head here in the body, and then it's got these dangling legs. I'm going to show you something else. So this took place, according to Jeremy Corbell, in October 2018. Okay, so let's pull up a couple extra articles that I have for you and take a look and see what they have. So a Marine who was there also talked about this. A Marine who spoke with News Nation stated that those on the base never called it jellyfish. They called it the spaghetti monster. Interestingly enough, the Marine's name is Michael Sinkowski. He was an intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, tactical controller at the base in Iraq in 2018. He says initial reports were that the video was taken that year. The initial reports that the video was taken that year are incorrect. The object was spotted near the end of 2017. Whatever it was, 2017, 2018, it's all the same time period. When Sinkowski arrived in 2018, he says he was shown the full video and that the soldiers weren't sure what to make of it because he stated that it didn't really seem like a threat. So according to him, he stated that they didn't scramble people because it didn't posture aggressively or offensively. It literally was just like coasting through the sky, and we'll pull up a video in a little bit here, but it's just coasting through the sky. Not really, you know, posturing in a military stance, not, you know, showing weapons, not displaying that it stopped and was monitoring something. It just kept hovering past, like almost like a balloon, but this balloon did not increase its level, or this object did not increase its altitude or decrease it until the very end when it went into the water. So he stated that it crossed my mind because, you know, the theories that we had didn't fully explain it. Our curiosity kind of goes, is it something extraterrestrial, paranormal, or whatever you want to call it? He stated that we handled it the best way possible, but it ended up being the ghost story of the base, interestingly enough. So something like this must not happen very often. News Nation even asked the Pentagon for a response about the video, whether the investigation was done or any investigation was done. They never acknowledged it. Shocker, shocker, right? Okay, so let's see if we can pull up a video and just kind of look at it and see what you think, okay? Let me know what your thoughts are on this, and I'll pull it up here.
A leaked U.S. military video shows a UFO named Jellyfishes. Its form looks like one.
Here it is,
the
right
UFO video was captured in Iraq in 2018, where as soon as it was seen, troops were told to hunt it down. The flying object is seen gliding over a military base. Witnesses said that the thing had gone in.
Did you see how that changed from light to dark in just an instant?
Into a lake and then shot up into the sky.
Look at that.
The soldiers with night vision equipment couldn't detect the UFO unless they used a thermal stratum. Direct eyewitnesses described the object as having geometric forms resembling scale armor. Something similar has been seen before in 2009 in Turkey, as well as in Mexico in 2018.
Pretty interesting. So, what do you think about this? I mean, you know, we can watch it again if you want, but I think it's really bizarre. I'll just kind of play it and talk about it here. But you can see it. Look at that. It just goes dark and then it goes translucent, almost like if you were to have a octopus in the ocean that can transform its colors on the top of its skin. The people who were on the ground actually stated that this thing looked like it had some sort of like camo armor on it that could change color, which is really, really fascinating because we don't really hear about that a lot. We hear about maybe a V-shaped or a triangle-shaped aircraft that, you know, reflects the stars, you know, above it or, you know, blends in. But this thing, it was kind of changing as it was going. And you can see it on the video here. As we look at it again, it goes white. And then it kind of blends into the background, and it's almost like it's alive, you know, where it's blending in and out, and, you know, it's not moving, though. These legs and these appendages are not moving at all. Its main body isn't moving at all. It looks like almost like a balloon, but there's no balloon that's going to have all these weird appendages, and it's not going to look like this, and it's even if it was a balloon, it's not going to stay at the same velocity, same forward velocity, and it's going to go up and down with the air. And you know how the air is in desert areas. It really doesn't do a whole lot until there's a storm or something like that. But there's no storm here. It's just this thing is at a dead pace, not a dead pace. It's not stopped, but it's at a steady pace and not moving. I mean, really, really weird. I was trying to find like the clearest image of the item the object. I couldn't really find a great one. I wish I could, but the video speaks for itself. You know, I don't think I really need to, you know, show that because you can see it in the video. But I'm going to see if Jeremy Corbell has anything real quick. But I think it's interesting because Corbell could have came out with this a long time ago, and he didn't, and he waited until like just now. I mean, even after the, you know, after Grush came out, it's almost like he was waiting for Grush to be safe, or to at least for him to go first, for Grush to go first, because maybe Corbell was threatened at some point, and a lot of people are a lot of the representatives that came out of that skiff stated that a lot of people were being threatened and killed over this information. So, you know, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this one here real quick. So, this kind of shows you. Here's Corbell. You can see it kind of here with some appendages hanging down. You know, there's a couple other spots, but it's really kind of hard to see in that photo. In this one, it kind of looks like almost like a rhinoceros. It's kind of interesting. So what is it, what does it look like too? Does it look like it's an aircraft? Does it look like it's a spy balloon? Does it look like it's a UFO? A lot of people state that they think it could be like a UFO drone. It could be a UFO carrying an alien. Who knows exactly? But I think that there's some more research to be done. But it is interesting that Corbell waited this long. So that's what I got. I think we're just getting so much information right now that we just struggling to even keep up with how much info is coming out. But I think that there's going to be more congressional hearings. Tim Burchett already talked about that. Representative Luna already talked about that. So I think that we're going to see more disclosure coming out as time flies by here. So this is going to be the year, guys. 2024 might actually be the year my dad's been wishing for. And let's face it, the government stated there's aliens. Do we see mass panic, mass delusions, mass buying of toilet paper? No. People are going about their lives, just like we said. People are trying to survive, just like we said. We don't have time to worry about aliens. UFO researchers can still be interested in it and try to learn more and try to press the government to give us more info, but we still got to live our lives. We're not just running around, denouncing every religion or announcing a new alien religion or anything like that. No, we're still good. So anyway, guys, I will come back with another podcast. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally, following through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. Paint. Go do some work on your car. Go meditate. Go do something fun. Play some baseball. I don't know. Anything that you want to do. Maybe make a podcast. As always, continue to question the universe around you. Until next time, guys, take care and Lockdown Universe out.